Nebraska is in a position this month are pretty much all that matter in basketball. But you have to have a record that makes it matter, and Nebraska has that right now. You say Rutgers on Thursday is a must-win.
I'm going to die on that hill.
Yeah, no, I agree. The next 30 days,
yeah,
must-wins.
They essentially have to do exactly what they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Run the table at home and sneak out one on the road, because that's what they did.
Yeah, winning on the road is hard. Yeah, all these home games that you play, you have to win them.
Let's take a step back.
Oh, come on.
This is the definition of a game that beats you twice. Nebraska goes up 15 on Iowa at one point. Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is that team. They're good. They let Iowa scrap and claw, and now their mentals are mush. I'm hoping Thursday against Rutgers is an opportunity to get their heads right, see some shots go in. PBA is going to have to do their job like they always do. And if they can get a win at home against Rutgers, I think it will hopefully set them up for another opportunity on the road.
Giving up that 15-point lead. I forget that dweeb's name. Just fucking made everything in the second half. And if they would have just pulled out that dub, like, would I even care about this Purdue beatdown?
Wouldn't even care.
Yeah, you would. You're a liar if you're telling yourself.
Like, if they wouldn't have given up that 15-point lead and actually won on the road versus the fuck eyes,
that's
honestly,
we don't know. We would have entered this episode the same damn way.
No.
I guarantee you we would.
We're entering this episode with back-to-back road losses.
Yeah. Knowing how hard it is to win on the road, and I was another place that they just don't fucking lose there.
Sure.
I would have forgiven. I sincerely believe I would not be nearly as heated.
You're telling me, like, Nebraska gets that 15-point lead. And let's say it still goes to overtime. Nebraska wins by 2.
Yeah.
And then we get blown out by 40 or whatever it was by Purdue. You're telling me that you're coming in any sort of a positive light?
Well,
that's bullshit, and you know it.
Fuck you. It's kind of a chicken and egg thing, right? Because if they would have won against Iowa, would they have lost by 40 to Purdue?
No, they wouldn't
probably
have.
not.
No,
I mean,
they
who
let
knows,
that
right?
game beat them twice.
Yeah,
and I just hope that it doesn't linger further, because you could just tell, just looking at the team, that they were checked out the entire game. Though the game was like 5-2 or something. This is gonna get ugly. This doesn't look good.
Right.
You could just tell they got off the bus, they were asleep the entire time, and it got worse and worse and worse.
Snowball.
Is it me, or has that been kind of the story of the season where you can tell the games where that team is awake? Just in the first 5 minutes, you can tell how they're going to perform. It's felt like that all season.
If you've watched this team, you know when they're clicking, when the ball's actually moving. When it gets stuck,
or you hand the ball off in the corner multiple times, and it's like,
what are you doing?
What's the whole purpose of this?
Because you say, like, Fred is an offensive guy, and this team has a defensive identity. You still have Fred Hoiberg as your coach. So why is the ball getting stuck? Why is our point guard not distributing the ball properly? God, that just doesn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 games, we'll say half of the Iowa game, they let that game beat them twice. And I'm hoping going back to PBA will refresh everything.